All right, guys. For our first deck of aggression, we're going to be going Vision Short Circuit. All right, so that means we're going to be Vision aggro, wanting to smash face. So we're going to be staying in dense form as much as possible, and we're going to be using that aggro strategy a little bit, and we're going to be doing a lot of things just to punch our way out. So obviously, we're going to be running 3 copies of Skilled Strike. We're going to be running 3 copies of Reboot to give us extra activations. We run 2 copies of Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Again, cards to make our hero attack for more. We're running 2 hand cannons to be able to give us that +2 attack in Overkill. And then we're running a couple of Battle Furies to be able to, again, to ready when we defeat a minion. And then especially if we have the hand cannon, we can just punch ready, and just keep going like that. We added 1 combat training to this to be able to just have that extra 1 attack, so they have that at least a minimum of 3 attack. And then after that, we are running a couple of allies. We are running obviously a Hulk, a Spider-Girl. We're running Blade and Wasp as Avengers, so those guys can kind of help out and deal some massive damage. And then we got Bug with an energy spear and a sidearm. Again, who cares if we set him up? We do. If we don't, we don't. But because we can reset, we can also make him an Avenger. So we can attack, ready, attack. So we can really do some cool combos with that. And then here we go. We got the 5 double resources. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. So a 41 card deck here that is going all out on damage. Now, my original idea, and if you haven't seen Brant, he's been playing it. The original idea was like to use the intangible form and just bring it. And Brant's been showcasing it so nicely that, man, it's his now. I'm giving it to him. So it's super good. But that was my original idea for this deck. And again, using the superpowered Dense Strike, which has the 5 damage and piercing, is just super easy again. It's way better than 3. It's better than the piercing strike. That's 3 damage and piercing. So the super dense strike is the ones that we're going to be like trying to play as Vision, but mostly we're just going to go straight to face and just kind of wham 1-2 punch the Vision, like short circuit, baby. Fight. So that is pretty good. And if you want to see the other one, the Bring It deck, I think Brant's been showcasing it so nicely. He's adding less allies, more heal. The way I would have played it would be more allies, less heal. But again, it's still super good because he's played it. We played it together in the multiplayer. His version was super solid. It was the key to a very efficient Taskmaster victory. So again, deck ideas are great, and then people have their own twist on it, and you can kind of take this as a foundation, and you're like, oh, I like this more, I like that more, and then make it your own. And that's what's fun about this game is, sometimes us as content creators, we create stuff, but again, it's not a one solution to every deck. Every deck is going to have its ups, its downs. It's going to have its little moments where you'll be like, oh, okay, after I play tested this a couple times, I know this is missing and that's missing. And that's the best part about deck construction is just like, let's figure out how this can work against this villain. All right, well, this is going to happen more often, so let's figure this into our deck build. And again, super solid. So again, this is our aggression build, Short Circuit Vision. And go, and let's see how this bad boy does. All right, guys, for this protection build, I want to call it Vision. Are you dense? Like, I think it's just funny. Like, it's just like, are you thick? So yeah. So the focus is going to be to remain in dense form throughout the majority of the game, triggering Vision's cape once we get it on with the extra retaliate, and then recurring cards like Mass Increase. with density control, and then we can kind of focus on these key cards to bring this back, which is I think is going to be just phenomenal. Now, this is a very, very green deck. The only basic cards we'll be running are the 3 double resources, and I wasn't even sure if I wanted to run them. An endurance and a depth focus, just because everything's a superpower, so why not? Then what we're running is protection, protection, protection. So we're going to be really abusing of this flow like water. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defense events, 7 if you count this. And because we're going to be playing Jocasta, we'll be able to recur one of these events. So that's technically 8 events, 8 defense events. So this can just be like turning damage like there's no tomorrow. This is going to be super, super fun to play. And then just kind of just poke the little bear. And just in case some of the damages get through, we do run a couple of energy barriers just to have some fun with that. We're going to also be running a Nerves of Steel. Always, resource generation for these events. Having the 6, 7 events that we can play for that is just perfect. And then after that, well, since we're going to be dense and we're going to be taking almost no damage, there is no reason why not to run a perfect defense strategy with Vision. So again, the 3 hard to ignores: Armored Vest, Electrostatic Armor, Unflappable, Dauntless. And just to make sure that we trigger all the time, we're going to have 2 Perseverance. So if we ever change our dense form or we go to Alter Ego, come back, and we can just give ourselves a tough status card, super cheese. And then we're running just 1 mid team in case we don't get to trigger our Dauntless. So this deck again is super, super fun. Again, it's all about damage mitigation and running those defense events and really taking the payoff off Flow Like Water and using the Retaliate. So retaliate, retaliate, retaliate. So we can have up to retaliate 3, 4 damage. We can go up to 4 damage every time we play a defense event off an attack. So that is just craziness. All right. So 4 damage to prevent attack. So I think what I might want to add, and I'll see after I play tested a couple times, is maybe add a couple of things where he does attack me again, where I do want to try to take some extra attacks from the villain. I was thinking maybe a couple of get behind me's that could be really good, or even I was thinking bait and switch, but he has so many cards. So if I was going to add a couple cards and just switch a couple things, I might just add a couple of I forget what the name is. Okay, get behind me's, just to be able to trigger some of the cancel some of the nasty cards. But aside from Shadows of the Past, I think the nastiest card he can get is his Obligation, and there's nothing we can do about it. So unless we could incorporate, I guess we could incorporate, what's her name there? Black Widow. I think instead of the get behind me's, I think we just incorporated Black Widow. I think that's what we'll do. We'll incorporate Black Widow in the deck, and then now we have a super control-y deck with Jocasta here, and then boom. And there you go, boom. And now we have ourselves, how many cards there? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 3, 4, 5, 6, 27. 42 card deck. Beautiful. 42 card deck. Our permanents. This is going to really thin our deck out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards that are going to be thinning out our deck. 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, our deck is going to get super, super small. And we're just going to be cycling through these events like butter, man. It's going to be crazy. All right, so there you go. Vision, super dense. Are you dense? Are you okay? There you go. All right, so, and there, I think this should be a very, very fun deck to play. So I definitely recommend trying it out. Again, stay dense. The idea here is to stay dense and just deal all little ping damage, kind of like Ant-Man's little ants, but as a deck concept complete. So guys, I hope you guys enjoy this deck. We'll go check it out on our video and how it plays out. All right, guys, for the Justice build, I really wanted to make a deck where I was focusing on being intangible. So I'm calling this Vision, as a fly on the wall. So I like the images of him just passing through. So vision kind of focusing on staying intangible here and focusing a lot on the threat removal aspect. And again, using your density control to cycle these cards back to your hand as much as possible, flipping to alter ego to hero intangible. Now, what we want to do is we are going to focus. We're going to put one meditation in our deck just because it's so good. And then we're going to be putting a couple of payoffs on this. So we have an Avengers Mansion and a Helicarrier that we can play in alter ego. And then we also have all these really sweet allies because our damage is mostly going to be coming from our allies. So guys like Venom, Venom and all the other ones. Now, I really wanted to make a deck where I could take advantage of Pivotal Moment because you can keep threats so low with Vision. But then I'm like, oh, I can't attack or defend, and then I have to flip, and I could definitely do that, and that's something that I can definitely take advantage if I want to build differently. So now I'm just kind of going for the cycle in the motions here, and then just using my allies just to punch for a bunch. Venom, who can do 12 damage in 4 turns, is super good. And then Wraith, who can do 6 damage. And then Vision, and then Jack Flag, he thwarts once and then deals 2 damage. Thwarts once, deals 2 damage. And then Daredevil, who thwarts and deals damage. So there you go. So I want to kind of use my allies for that kind of damage. And then I want to have some payoffs off of those allies. So I really want to keep them in play. So I want to keep at least 1 or 2 in play. And then just use, especially Venom. Venom's definitely the guy I want to keep in play. So those 2 first aids are there, especially for him. And then I just want to keep control of threat. So then we're going to be running 2 one ways or another. So we can go get a side scheme. And then we're going to pay off. Since we can't attack, we still want to do some damage. So we got a couple of follows to go with those. So that should be interesting. And we have a couple of making and entrances. That's again because we're going to have a thwart of 2, 4, and 5 once we have our heroic intuition. And then we're just running also the regular justice stuff: under surveillance, counterintelligence, justice served, sense of justice, and a skilled investigator. Again, so this for solo play is going to be very efficient. I have my way to confuse him. I have my density control where I can go get that and detach some attachments, phase through the villains again, and then just use these allies to remove tons of threat, and then just, again, keep control of the situation. So, again, Vision as a fly on the wall. So basically, try to stay intangible as much as you can, and then flip down to alter ego, control the situation. Never really afraid of justice to flip down because there's so many ways to control threat. So I think this is going to be another interesting deck. I can't wait to see how this plays out. But I really like. I was looking at the image. I'm like, what can I do in Justice that would make sense? And yeah, I came up with these. Just using follows. At first, I had put 3 one ways and 3 follows, and I was like, it can work. But I'm like, yeah, let's just do 2. Because then I had a 46 card deck. I was like, it's getting pretty heavy. And then the making an entrance is pretty good because I'll basically almost taking no damage. And then I can just use my making an entrance, remove a side scheme, and just heal for 2 or heal for 4 if I have a big threat to remove. So we can really go there. And then counterintelligence and stuff like that. So I'm not too worried about threat going up, and just having complete control with this type of deck is kind of what we're looking at. So kind of a really justicey control deck. Can't go wrong with that. So let's go see how that one plays out. All right, here we go. All right, guys, welcome back. Now it's time to talk about the leadership idea that I really, really wanted to focus on. And if you're not thinking about this, you're missing out on something. Vivian is so good, but she does have a little downside of having only 2 health. But the fact that she can be a 3 thwarter or a 3 attacker for an ally that only costs 2 is just completely bonkers. And the fact that if you have Hickory Dickory Lane, you can actually fetch her out in the game. So You can actually find her like with the Hickory Branch Lane there. You can find her out and you can search her for in your deck while you're in Alter Ego. So if you get that card turn 1, you can find Vivian on the first turn. So you have 2 ways of finding Vivian fast. And this deck is called It's All About Viv. So Vision is not going to be doing much. He is just going to be doing and supporting with his density control and all that kind of stuff. But what we're doing is we're putting the full package on Missy Miss here. We're going to play an Honorary Avenger. We're going to be putting a Sidearm, an Inspired, a Sky Cycle, a Reinforced Suit, and a Power Glove. So we are running like the best things that we can to really make our ally a superstar, because we're gonna want to use her as a lot. All right, next ones. Okay, so that is it. So that, and then you're probably like, oh, Steve, well, that's good, but you know, at one point, you know, she's gonna have 4 health. Like, what are you going to do after that? Well, then we got a couple of first aids to make sure that she stays alive. And I'm just going to move this a little bit here. So there you go. So Viv, and we got 2 first aids in our deck to make sure that she stays alive. Aside from that, we're going to be using the awesomeness of card draw. So even though let's say we don't find Viv on turn 1, well, we always have a few other friends here that can help. So Ant-Man, Stinger, Kalu, Maria Hill, and White Tiger. Again, we don't care about having 5 allies. We're good with 4 allies. Maria Hill's just there for card draw, so there's no Triskelion, there's no Avengers Tower or anything. So 4 allies is fine, because we're going to use the allies to draw cards and just to maximize the effect. We're definitely going to be putting a Mighty Avengers. So once we're all set up, Vivian is going to have, and let's say we're dense, or the other one, she's going to be a 4/4, a 5/4, a 6/5, a 6/5 that does a damage every time she activates. 6/5 that deals a damage every time that activates is insane. And now we have 6 cards that give us free activations. So we have the 3 reboots and the 3 inspiring presences. That just means we're going to just activate Vivian, punch for 6, punch for 6, punch for 6, deal a damage, deal a damage, deal a damage. Ready, heal, ready, heal. So we're not doing anything else but that. We're just going to go, just think about it. We have 1 turn. If we get all 6 of these, that is 36 plus 6. It's a 42 damage. We can 1 turn kill a villain with Vivian. Like, we can take almost any villain, and if we have all 6 of these, we can 1 turn kill a villain. That seems really, really good. All right, and then to complete the cards here, we have 2 strengthened numbers. We have 1 make the call, so we can go and fetch cards like White Tiger or Maria Hill and just draw more cards, or Kalu. And then we have 1 Avengers Assemble to just make it like our big splashy finale. We have 1 Death Focus, because then it can just pay for our cards so we can focus on other things. And then 3 Double Resources. So this is a super fun deck. I've played it already. You want to stay intangible and just kind of focus on threat. You can just build up your board really, really fast. And then even if you get her as the last card, well, once you've built everything else, you're just going to go through your deck in like 2 minutes, and then you're going to be able to start activating really, really fast. So again, this deck is all about Vivian. And then again, you're probably going to want to stay in hero form most of the time. You can use your first aids to heal yourself, and until she's out and she's ready to pump up the damage. But man, this deck is bonkers. It's super, super solid. Again, because Vision is really good, depending what the cards you have in hand, you can kind of flip to mass and really use his other signature cards to really focus on to keep you alive. But just once you got Vivian, you just all in on Vivian and just have some fun. And then and what's best about it is she's only a 2 cost. So even if you play against the Enchantress with a Beguiled, well, it's going to steal either White Tiger, and you have other 2 cost allies that can just get taken instead. So she's also protected from that. So that's what makes her really, really cool. So again, this is the It's All About Viv leadership deck. Enjoy. Let's go check it out in gameplay. So as you can imagine, that deck is going to work amazing in solo play, and it's going to be even super solid in multiplayer play, just because it's kind of like that Draw Your Life deck with Captain Marvel, except she doesn't have the drawing effect, but it's just going to be so good. All right, let's go check it out in solo play.